I'm Sharon Hearn-Smith, the author of No Bake Baking, and I'm here today with Mummy Pages. Now I'm going to show you how to make my decadent, chocolatey Turtleback Terrine. Now, while the name doesn't quite suggest decadence, this is exactly what it is. And so it basically is a chocolate ganache terrine that has been topped with nuts which have been tossed in a salted caramel sauce. And it looks like, well, a turtle. Go with me on this. First of all, let me show you how to make the salted caramel sauce. So for this recipe, I have some caster sugar and water in a pan, which I've allowed to bubble down for about 6 to 8 minutes. And it has turned a nice amber, goldeny amber colour, and it's nice and liquidy and smooth. Now this is incredibly hot, so you need to be careful at this stage. And to that, I'm just going to actually take it off the heat, because you'll see why in a second. I'm just going to add some soft light brown sugar. In that goes. And then some butter. And some cream. Ooh, and it's just about to sizzle. Now, because the sugar is so hot, it's going to start to spit a little bit. So this is why you need to take it off the heat and just be a little bit careful. Now put it back on the heat and just continue to stir it, and it might turn into a big kind of hard clump, but don't worry. If you just keep it on the heat, it will melt it back down again, and in the end you will have a delicious caramel sauce. So now I'm safe to turn the heat back up and just continue to stir it. All that lovely butter is melting into the sugar, and the sugar is melting into the sugar, and the cream. Oh, it is naughty, but so nice. And this will just take a couple of minutes until it's nice and smooth. So have a look. It's all nice and melted down now. The sugar has dissolved in, the butter has melted. Look at that yummy sauce. And then one final ingredient, like I said, it's delicious like this, but I love to add some salt. And the saltiness with the sweetness of the sauce is just perfect together. So add in the salt towards the end just to make sure that it dissolves in. And this is why I love it so much with chocolate as well. The salt with chocolate is really tasty. And that is it. Now again, this is incredibly hot, so be really careful. I'm just going to take it off the heat, and I'm just going to pour it into this bowl and leave it to cool. Don't be tempted to touch it just yet. And there you have my delicious salted caramel sauce. So that's the salted caramel sauce made and cooling. And now I'll show you how to make the chocolatey part. So in my pan here, I have some double cream, which is just coming up to the boil. And I'm going to snap lots of lovely dark chocolate into a bowl. And like I said, it's basically a chocolate ganache. So dark chocolate is the best chocolate to use for that. But I'm just going to leave it plain flavoured, but you could add flavourings like orange zest or coffee. What else? What about liqueurs? You could add frangelico, which is a hazelnut liqueur, or Cointreau, or a coffee liqueur like Kahlua or Tia Maria. Any of those would be delicious to change it up. Oh, what about some chili as well, actually? Some fresh chili and chocolate is really nice. So just snap all of that chocolate into the bowl. And the cream is just coming up to the boil now, so whip that off the heat and then simply pour it over the chocolate. And this will just begin to melt. Great. And just give it a stir. It might just take a minute or two to combine, and first of all, it doesn't look great, but it will. So just continue to stir it until all of the chocolate is melted and it's lovely and smooth and rich. There we go, have a look. Beautifully smooth and luscious, and maybe I might just dip a spoon in and start to eat it right now. That is the chocolate ganache for the terrine. So all I need to do is just set that aside and leave it to cool down a little bit, and then we're ready to assemble the terrine. So now my chocolate and my caramel sauce have cooled, I'm ready to assemble. So all I need to do is add some delicious nuts into the caramel sauce. And I have pecan nuts and whole almonds and hazelnuts. And this is just a combination I like, but you can use any combination that you like. And actually you could even mix in dried fruits like apricots, or raisins or cranberries, in fact, for Christmas time. Whatever you like. Oops, man overboard. Don't escape this caramel sauce. So just give it a good mix around until everything is really nicely combined. And then I have a loaf tin, which has been lined with parchment paper, non-stick paper. And as I always do, I always put little bulldog clips on the end to keep the paper against the tin, just so that it doesn't flap over and stick to the chocolate layer. So I'm going to pour the nutty caramel sauce into the bottom of the tin and spread it out evenly. I can just taste this already. This is one of my favourite desserts. And then I'm going to take the chocolate ganache. Oh, yum. This is kind of sinful, isn't it? Death row dessert, I think. Now, pour the chocolate sauce over the top of the nuts and the caramel. Get it all in there. And really, it is as simple as this to assemble. So people sometimes get a bit scared when they hear like of chocolate work, or particularly a terrine or making a salted caramel sauce. But as you can see, it's all pretty straightforward. And you're really going to wow your friends and family with this dessert. Who's going to lick the bowl? So just spread the chocolate ganache out evenly, and that is it. Oh, so just leave it to cool, and then pop it in the fridge for at least 4 hours or overnight until it's completely set, and then it's ready to serve. So now my turtleback terrine is completely set, and now for the reveal. So I've just simply turned it out of the tin by inverting a plate on top and turning it over and lifting the tin off. And now let me show you the turtleback terrine. Just peel that paper off. Look at all those lovely nuts set in the gooey caramel. Ooh, someone's going to have to lick that paper, I think. And then to serve, this slices into 12 slices, so I allow about 2 per person. And the best way to cut it is by dipping a long sharp knife into really hot water so that it goes through the chocolate, and then cut down, and it crunches through the caramel and through the chocolate, and then onto a plate. That looks divine. And just to decorate my plate, if you want to present the whole thing at the table, I like to use red currants. They always make everything look really Christmassy and festive. And just to address the turtleback terrine, I kind of thought, you know, the turtle shell, the mottledy shell, it kind of looked like a bit of a turtle, and that's where the title came from. Anyhow, I hope you enjoy it. That is my decadent turtleback terrine.